This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our victorious Cincinnati Bengals.
Can't miss player. I really do. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I think when he gets on the field, he's going to produce. He's going to produce at a high level.
They are almost unbeatable in December and January.
We're on another level. Thank you.
And I am going to become the first Bengals broadcaster to call a Super Bowl title. It's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. It's here.
In a row, Mon. 10 in a row.
Hooday, Bengal fans. He is Mon. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. It's just Mon and I tonight. Eric could not be here, but Mon and I are excited to be here and talk to you about quite a bit of Bengal news, Mon, this past week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you as always. Again, guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Mon and I would surely appreciate that. Mom, before we get started, buddy, how you doing?
Good. Doing really well. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a show, it seems. It's been a while. It's good to be on and talk. A lot of stuff, Pro Bowl, a lot of good things from T and Chase from the McAfee interview. And let's just talk. The NFL Honors Show is on now, and let's get the show rolling.
All right, let's get rolling here. I think the first thing that we need to talk about, Mon, is, we give Zack Taylor a lot of shit on this show. We really do. And some of it is definitely deserving. But we find out this week that Zack Taylor, and not only Zack Taylor, but Brian Callahan, the ex-Bengals OC, who obviously was here through those two AFC championship runs, Brian Callahan and Zack Taylor step up and cover the cost for the late Jay Morrison's wife. Just let's talk about that for a minute, because I think that there's there's more than just football when it comes to life in general. And obviously there's so many more important things. Like football is important to all of us, of course, but your thoughts on what Zack Taylor and Brian Callahan did for Jay, who is a good friend to this show. We love Jay so much. We look forward to having him back very soon. Your thoughts on the generosity and what they did for the Morrison family.
It was a classy move. It was really classy of them. The coaches, they interact. The media is there throughout the season during practice, so they get to know them. They have a job to do. Obviously, the media does, but they're humans. They're friends. They might have a beer here and there. They're all friends, okay. And it was a classy move. It was really great. And you just said something perfectly. I don't think there's another, Bengal podcast that's more vicious towards Zack Taylor and some of the coaches and the front office. And I admit sometimes, we're emotional. We come on right when the game ends and we're fired up. But, we can walk and chew gum. I think I've used that phrase 500 times. We can point out things that, might irritate us. But if you can't acknowledge what he did for his family, it was amazing. It's so kind. And it was just, you got to praise it. It was a classy move. And I'm glad because, like you said, Jay's been on our show a handful of times. He's a great guy. I enjoy interacting with him. He's always been good to us, and we're still praying for his family. And it was a tragedy, and I'm glad that Zack Taylor and Brian Callahan were able to help him and his family with this grieving process and help them with this benefit that they had the other day. Good move, Zack Taylor. You're a good man. You're a great man, and good job.
Listen, it's hard. It's really hard not to root for him. You know what I mean? Like when he does, when a human being does something like that for another human being, where, it's not even, I don't know if you saw, but, basically Zach wasn't going to say anything to anybody about it. This was a situation where he reached out and was really going to do this behind the scenes. And then obviously they asked him if it was cool if they told people about the story, but it is a classy move. And obviously we're still always praying for the Morrison family and Jay, and we love you, Jay. And we hope to see you back soon. Jay is one of the best, Mon, that does this. You and I both look up to him, and it was a classy move. And I just want to make sure that because we do, man. And Zach, there are times where Zach deserves a little bit of the criticism, but man, it's just so hard right now to do that. He's just an incredible move by him. So Brian Callahan, Zack Taylor, we appreciate what you did for the Morrison family. I know a lot of other Bengal fans do. So, and I think too, it's kind of interesting, right? Because you do kind of look at a situation like that and you do think to yourself, now you kind of understand why maybe the Bengals want to give him another opportunity, not because of doing that, just because of him being the person that he is. So, Zach, we're rooting.
Yeah, he's a good man. Nobody can doubt that. He's a good person, good human being, good communicator. We can separate some of our angst towards him, but we can also acknowledge his good qualities, and he has a lot of them.
No doubt. Yeah. So, Jay, we're still praying for you guys and through this time of need, man. And hang in there, buddy. We love you. So let's talk a little bit about Pro Bowl, Mon. Right? Pro Bowl. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want to say about it. It's kind of crazy, right? That you have Joe Burrow, you have Joe Flacco, two of the Bengals quarterbacks, and two of the Browns quarterbacks playing in the same Pro Bowl. Obviously, Jamar and T. It's flag football. It's different than what we're used to when it comes to the Pro Bowl. That old Sean Taylor clip just pulled up on my memories of him absolutely destroying that punter, and that was really the last time that guys hit in the Pro Bowl. But talk a little bit about it. It looked like the guys had fun out there. We saw Jamar shit. Jamar might be able to play a little bit of safety for us, to be honest. Jamar might have been the best safety on our roster this year, Mon, and he didn't even play it down at safety, although he did have 5 tackles. Not good tackles when your receiver has 5 tackles. Joe looked very nimble, and they looked like they were having fun. Talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl. Did you enjoy watching it?
I got to be honest. I didn't really watch it. I watched hockey instead. I was following up on it. Obviously, I saw the highlights and everything like that. It's not you just mentioned it perfectly. The Pro Bowl used to be a real football game. Yeah. It was a real game where guys went out and it was a real game. Guys hit each other. They played hard. It morphed into just, I don't know, like a cheap exhibition game like 15 years ago. Guys weren't really playing hard. And so the NFL turned it into this flag football thing. It's great to see the Bengals there and everything. I know a lot of players have Pro Bowl accelerators in their contracts. If they make a Pro Bowl, they get an extra $250, they get an extra $1 million. So It still means something to them there to put that in their contract. But the big thing really is to be voted to the All-Pro team. The All-Pro team is the very prestigious thing. And the Pro Bowl just isn't what it used to be. It was fun watching some of the highlights, though. I did watch it on YouTube. They had like a 20-minute clip on it. Yeah, Jamar Chase looked good. I hated seeing him do that backflip. I don't want him to get hurt in the Pro Bowl. I'm like, what are you doing? But hey, they all had fun and good for them. Good for them.
I read somewhere somebody said, well, the defense doesn't play well enough for Joe Burrow again or something, because the second half the AFC's defense fell apart there. But yeah, agreed. I think the the Pro Bowl definitely isn't what it is anymore. It doesn't carry the same weight, but it was fun to see. Joe out there run around and enjoying it. I don't know if you saw the interview where the reporter asked Joe, are you still having fun? And Joe's like, listen, I was having a bad day. And sometimes you have press conferences on bad days. Again, something that I think we all kind of thought was blown out a little bit out of proportion with the whole I'm not having fun playing football thing. Joe looks like he's having fun. Jamar, they both talked a little bit on the Pat McAfee show. It looks like they might be doing a podcast. But they talked a little bit on the Pat McAfee. That was a fun interview. Did you see that interview?
I did. That was good to see. That actually revitalized me a little bit because towards the beginning of the interview, they asked Jamar about the season and how it went. If he's talked to Zach or the front office about some of the problems, he goes, I'm not here to talk about exactly what I told them. He goes, but you guys know what the problems are. You know what the problems are with the team. He goes, and I had those conversations with Zach, and he didn't want to say the defense, but he was saying the defense.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get into details. He goes, but I told him, and listen, when you're star players, the guys making, $50 million, $45 million, $30 million contracts. And, they're taking up 40-50% of your salary cap. When they're talking, I'm sorry, the team is going to listen.
Yeah.
And I think they will. And the Bengals have a lot of money. And I'm sound like a homer here, but I feel really confident saying this. They're going to be very active in free agency. They're going to get 3, 4, 5, starting quality NFL players. They're going to come in, mentor, and be good players for that defense. Are they going to make the Bengals a top 5 defense? Absolutely not. But I think they're going to make the Bengals defense much better. And I would be stunned if they did. I would be stunned if they didn't do that.
Yeah, I agree. They kind of asked Jamar and T, who would you like to see in stripes if you could pick somebody? They both said Max Crosby, which I think we would all love to see Max Crosby in Bengal gear. I loved Justin Jefferson was on there, and they were talking about all those ridiculous rumors about Joe Burrow getting traded to the Vikings. I don't know if you've seen all that horse shit, but on social media they kind of laughed about it, and Jamar said the only way Justin is playing with Joe Burrow is if he takes a $45 million a year pay cut to play for the Bengals, which I don't know, man. Justin Jefferson might be getting close to doing something like that. No, obviously not, but you're right. I mean, it's interesting. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No. The Max Crosby thing, I've seen probably 50, 60 posts. It's fun to talk about. It really is. Yeah. God, he would make the Bengals a great team. He would be such a great addition. But, listen, the Raiders are not going to give him up for free. They're going to want premium return. And the Bengals just don't have the players to give them. And they don't have the draft capital to give them because they need all that stuff. And I mean, if they would release them, just release them and the Bengals have a chance to, claim them or get them on waivers, by all means do that. I just don't see our Cincinnati Bengals putting a package together and giving up a lot of assets that they are going to need. And I just don't see it.
Let me ask you this, just for shits and giggles here. What would you be willing to give up for Max Crosby? What would you be? Give me a package.
I got to be honest. This is mine, and I'm going to catch some flack. People on Twitter are going to catch us. I don't want Max Crosby.
Interesting.
I don't want him at all. I don't think we need Max Crosby. We had a guy that wasn't as good as Max. I don't think Trey Hendrickson was as good as Max. Mm-hmm. But I think Trey Hendrickson was a closer. I think we would have won a few more games with him. The Cincinnati Bengals need impact defensive tackles. They need impact in the middle. They need a 3 technique that's going to scare and collapse the pocket. I think we can accomplish our goals on the end with multiple bodies. Guys like Cedric Johnson. I'm not saying he's a superstar. Cedric Johnson's going to give you 7 to 10 sacks a season. Miles Murphy. There's a lot of guys that can come in and rotational pieces that are going to give you a lot of pressure on the ends. We need help on the defensive tackle. Max Crosby is a great player. He's not a generational player in the sense that, I know he's put up great stats with the Raiders, but I don't know, where's that Raiders defense at? I know the whole team, it's a whole team thing, but I don't know. I could honestly care less if he joined the Bengals. I really could.
Yeah. I get that. I think that's a good response. I think I do. I think there's a lot more holes than just the pass rusher hole, right? And I think when you look at that, you're right. I mean, the Bengals, there are so many holes on that defense. Even T talked about the defensive tackle room, that we needed to add to the defensive tackle room, which I thought was very interesting. I tell you what I do love, Mon. I love that the Bengals are going to Joe and they're going to Jamar and they're going to T and they're like, hey, what do you see that we need to do? Now, obviously, you're hoping they don't have to do that, but it is good that they're talking to their money guys and seeing, hey, we want to win. I think that shows that they want to win when they're going to guys and saying, hey, what do you think we need to do to fix this? Right. I mean, that shows that they give a shit.
Absolutely. I love that, man. I love it. Now, listen, are they going to listen? I mean, I hope they do, but I think, this is different in the sense the Bengals have earmarked Higgins, Chase, and Burrow as the cornerstones to the franchise.
Yes, they have.
Okay? So when you're the cornerstones of the franchise, you have to listen to them. You have to appease them. I mean, I get it. The Bengals aren't going to go out and spend $300 million on free agents. They're going to go out and they're going to add pieces because I think they'll never admit it. I think they know they screwed up last March. They took free agency off last year and it cost them this year.
Yeah.
Joe Goodberry put up a great stat. Bengals have $55 million in available contract space. Next year, they got over 150, almost 160 in available cap space next year. So why can't they sign players and put money into year 2 of the contract? Because they have the cap space to do that.
Right. I saw that.
Yeah. And I thought that was really, really interesting. And, I'm telling you, if there's some fans here, they joke around, they love to see Mon having a crash out. If you want to see the epic crash out, come in on free agency if the Bengals don't sign anybody. I mean, I'm going to be batshit crazy if that happens.
You already are batshit crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
You're going to multiply it. No, I just, Mon, at this point, there is no way in hell the Bengals are not going to be aggressive in free agency. There's no way in hell. There's just no way. There's no possible way the Bengals are not aggressive in free agency. I love what CC92 here said. We do. That's what we really need, right? We don't need a Max Crosby so much as replicating what they did in free agency in 2021, right? Cheeto, Hilton, Trey. I think those, again, remember Trey at that time, the Bengals got a lot of shit for giving Trey Hendrickson money back then. He had one good year and the Bengals went out and paid him and, he ended up being an elite pass rusher for the Bengals. I think that's what the Bengals need. The Bengals need to go out and get 3 or 4 cornerstone guys that are going to come in and make an impact right away. And I could see the Bengals doing that. I really could see the Bengals doing that this year. Go ahead, Mon. What are you going to say?
No, I'm just talking. I mentioned about Max Crosby. If somehow he got on the Bengals, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But I think the problem on that defensive line is the defensive tackle. I think Duke Tobin said that during his press conference. If you listen to all the pods from the beat writers, they're telling you point blank what the problem is on that defensive line. I think Jamar Chase was trying to tell us that on McAfee's show. TJ Slayton ranked 114 out of 129 defensive tackles on PFF. 114 out of 129. Chris Jenkins was 83 out of 129 on limited snaps. McKinley Jackson didn't have enough snaps to basically get rated. BJ Hill is a solid player. He was 35 out of 129, but he's not a flashy guy. He's a run stopper. Somebody brought up a good point. Paul Boehner's article today. What if they cut TJ Slayton and BJ Hill? That would save them almost $11 million. Then you can go out and get an impact defensive player or 2 you could package together to bring in new blood for the defensive tackle spot. They are not getting production there. Chris Jenkins hasn't developed in 2 years. You can't give up on a second round pick. I think this year is going to be critical for him. McKinley Jackson was a third rounder. They have got to get better at defensive tackle. I think that's the Achilles heel. They gave up 2,500 yards on the ground last year.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Insane. 5.2 yards per carry. We've got to be better at that spot.
Agreed. And we're going to obviously be talking a lot more about free agency, Mon, in the coming weeks. Let's talk about a very sore subject that I'll be honest with you, Mon. I feel a crash out brewing. I am so pissed off, right? Let me give my 2 cents and then I'll turn it over to you. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, to me, has become an absolute joke. I'll be honest with you. I think the Pro Football Hall of Fame is a disgrace to the sport. I think it is a clown show. I think it is a disgrace. I think it is. I don't see how anyone could possibly take the Hall of Fame serious at this point. I really don't. I don't see how anyone could look at it and say it's legitimate. Obviously, this is not me being a Bengals fan. I think it's very easy to say that Willie Anderson and Ken Anderson belong in the Hall of Fame. They belong in the Hall of Fame years ago. Ken Anderson belonged in the Hall of Fame years ago. Willie Anderson should have been at least a second ballot Hall of Famer. And now this thing has turned into an absolute disgusting disgrace to the NFL. And, I really applaud those two guys. They have so much more patience, I guess I would say, than maybe I do. Ken Anderson and Willie Anderson, they take it so well. And it's just such a disgrace. Ken Anderson is he's 75 now, 76 years old. It's just pathetic. It's pathetic. And I'm trying to not curse and I'm trying not to lose my mind and say what I really want to say, but I am so pissed off and disheartened with the sport of professional football. I'll be honest with you. I'm disheartened.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. I don't know. I just I think the process needs to be discussed. I think the way they do it is just antiquated. It's terrible. And Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, they should be in a separate category. Don't take it away from the senior NFL players, the players on the field, Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, all these other guys. Put them in a separate group. Instead, you're taking potentially, like next year, Bill Belichick's going to get it, so Ken Anderson's not going to get it. Neither's and Robert Kraft's probably going to get in next year also. So it's just a crazy thing. Listen, Ken Anderson was a four-time NFL passing champion, twice in the 70s, twice in the 80s. I mean, think about that, 2 separate decades. I mean, look at what Bill Walsh had to say about him. Look what his contemporaries had to say. Look what Terry Bradshaw, Dan Fouts, Roger Staubach, all these guys had to say about Ken Anderson. He was basically the original West Coast quarterback, because Bill Walsh created that in Cincinnati. He developed him, and he knew how great he was. NFL Man of the Year, NFL MVP. Crazy. Yeah, it's just it's but people just want to. He has, if you compare his stats to some other NFL Hall of Fame quarterbacks, then it's not even close. I just want to compare one thing. Willie Anderson, we all know he's deserving, but this is how screwed up the system is. Lamar Parrish played for the Bengals and the Washington Redskins. Mm-hmm. Okay. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro. All right, 47 career interceptions, 13 touchdowns. All right, that's punt return, kick return, interception return. He was Deion Sanders before Deion Sanders. His resume is lock Hall of Fame material. Jake, he doesn't even get discussed in the room because he doesn't even make it to the room to be discussed.
It's crazy.
Think about that. I mean, he doesn't even make it in the top 25, top 30.
That's crazy.
If you really compare what Lamar Parrish did to other guys that are in the Hall of Fame that played the same position, you sit there and say, what's going on here? He can't even get in the room to get discussed. I just read to you his resume. It's unbelievable. He was such a dominant player. Some people say he was better than Ken Riley, and Ken Riley is in the Hall of Fame now, finally. Teams did not throw to Lamar because he was so dominant. They threw more to Ken's side. Look at Ken's stats. He had more interceptions. He had more opportunities because people were afraid of Lamar Parrish. I don't know. It's just I think hopefully the Hall of Fame committee, the NFL, Roger Goodell can talk to them. Maybe they can expand the voter pool. Maybe instead of 50 voters, they'll go to 100. Like Paul Dana brought that up in one of the podcasts. Make it 150.
Right.
And I don't know. It's frustrating, and I feel bad for those guys. It doesn't look good next year for Ken Anderson. It really doesn't. If they have the same format where, Belichick and Robert Kraft and whatever, it's going to take away from players that have been waiting, the backlog of players to get in. Belichick's getting in next year. What's going to happen. We'll see.
I think
he's deserving. Don't get me wrong. Bill Belichick should be in this year. I mean, you can say what you want about him. He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah. What's crazy is I think and correct me if I'm mistaken, but isn't Ken Anderson, isn't he the only retired quarterback? He's the only retired quarterback that was the 4-time passing champ that is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he's the only. Let me say that right. He's the only retired 4-time passing champion that is not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I said that right.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible?
And he did that in 2 separate decades. Being a quarterback in the 70s, in the mid 70s, is so different from being a quarterback in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
In the 80s, that's when Air Coryell took off. They started throwing the ball. Dan Marino showed up, and they threw the ball 40, 50 times a game. Well, guess what? In the 70s, they threw the ball 25 times, 28 times. But he was very proficient. Guess what? He was a good athlete. He would run the ball a lot too.
Yeah.
But he put up unbelievable stats throwing the ball 25 times a game. All right. He had Isaac Curtis. He had great players. And, if you think about it, Lamar Parrish and Ken Riley, they got all those interceptions when teams didn't throw the ball a lot. And it was just it's mind-boggling. There are players on every team like Ken Riley, like Lamar Parrish, that are deserving. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame is failing them. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
And Willie, I mean, we haven't really talked about Willie. I mean, listen, Willie Anderson is one of the most dominant offensive tackles of his generation. I mean, again, as a whole, the Bengals were not a good football team. That just goes to show you how good Willie Anderson was, right? I think he gets dinged. Because, the lost decade was just so bad. But think about what he accomplished. What did he give up total? 16 total sacks in his career?
He was drafted in 96 in the middle of that lost decade.
Yes.
And he was a shutdown dominant player.
Yes.
Jake, I come in, I'm a nerd. I'm watching NFL yearbooks. I'm watching the Bengal yearbooks from 77, 76, 93, 94, 96. I posted a clip. The Bengals beat the Steelers, Willie's rookie year. Willie destroyed this Pittsburgh Steeler. He just evaporated him.
Yeah.
And Eric Bieniemy scored the touchdown, and everybody was like going crazy about that. But the play-by-play, Dave Lapham goes, well, look, he was talking about Willie because he just destroyed this guy. It was so funny, so I had to post that clip. But Willie, he doesn't get that notoriety because he didn't play on a lot of winning teams. But you know what? The players, Michael Strahan, all the guys that played against him, they know he was good. They know what he did. They know. PFF went back and they started grading all these games. PFF didn't exist then. He's a top 3 tackle in football history, but he played right tackle, and he's going to get in, guys. He's going to get in, and I just it kills me. I thought he was going to get in a couple years ago. I thought last year was his best chance, but
yeah,
he's going to get in, and I'm just frustrated because I hate to be this guy. I really think there is a Bengal bias. And you know what? Let me throw some shade at the organization. Shame on you for not having a Hall of Fame 20 years ago.
Oh, Ring of Honor, yeah.
The Ring of Honor. Yeah, the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Because you know what? The Ring of Honor matters. It does matter. Tom Justin here from, Bengal Jim and all that brings up good points. You know what? It makes a big difference. Lamar Parrish, the closest he got, the highest he got to Hall of Fame was this year. Think about that. He's been retired for 30 plus years. And the closest he got was this year. You know what? Because he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor for the Bengals.
Ring of Honor, yeah.
Yeah, his name is out now. What if he was inducted 20 years ago? You know what? I don't have a time machine to go back and correct the Bengals' mistakes. But you know what? You're hurting your alumni. You hurt him. You hurt him bad. And hopefully it gets rectified in time.
I just think it's crazy that you have these sports writers and all these other clowns voting on the Hall of Fame instead of the ones that, and you're not listening to the ones that had to compete against these guys, the other Hall of Fame guys that had to compete against these guys that are like, it's a travesty that Willie Anderson and Ken Anderson are not in the Hall of Fame. And that's coming from Hall of Famers that played against them, right? Like, how are you not taking that opinion into consideration? Because, these sports writer clowns, who most of them probably never played football in their entire life, are the ones making, doing these votes. It's just absolutely disgusting. And, Willie, Ken, I feel for you guys, and I think they will both get in. But man, we don't want to see another Ken Riley situation. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't. We don't want that. Poor like Bob Trumpy in the Ring of Honor. I just want to say something that I got a little salty. I'm sick and tired of some of these talking heads on ESPN, throwing shade at Kenny Anderson. They're upset about Bill Belichick not getting in. Hey man, I agree. Bill Belichick is a no-brainer first ballot Hall of Famer. That asshole Bill Polian had an agenda, and he is sitting there. He's in. I didn't say that. I didn't say bull crap. He did say it, but I get it. I get your anger, but don't throw Kenny Anderson under the bus for it. There's no way Kenny Anderson should get in before Bill Belichick. Don't do that. Some of these players, and then Willie Anderson went on Twitter and stuck up for Kenny Anderson. He called out I forget Damian Woody or one of the guys that's on.
He's a clown. It's one of the clowns.
It's the guy that's on Get Up with Greenberg. I love that show. I do love the show. But come on, man. There's no reason to do that. Ken Anderson is a deserving football player. He's a very good football player. And I want to say this. Bob Greasy is a quarterback for the Dolphins. Okay, the undefeated season. He didn't play in 7 of those games. He was hurt. Earl Morrall was a quarterback more than he was that year. Okay, but he still gets credit for that Super Bowl victory, and I think he won another Super Bowl. Bob Greasy was half the quarterback Ken Anderson was. Half. If Ken Anderson played for the Miami Dolphins, they would have won 3 more Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? Unfortunately, I guess this, I get it. Winning matters. Roger Craig is going to get inducted tonight. Roger Craig, he's like the 8th guy on that Super Bowl team, that the San Francisco team that won the Super Bowl. That's in the Hall of Fame. Super Bowls are important, but I think they need to look at the whole thing, not just winning that championship. I'm not saying it's not important. It is, but they got to look at everything, and I think he's deserving.
I can't believe Roger Craig is getting in over Ken Anderson. That's a disgrace. It really is.
He was a really good player, but I hear you.
He was a good player, but that's a disgrace. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. That you can't twist that any other way. But that is Roger Craig getting into the Hall of Fame before Ken Anderson is a disgrace to the NFL.
Mo Egger on ESPN 1530 said it perfectly. This is 3 days ago. He goes, Roger Craig's getting in. Where's the Super Bowl? In Santa Clara. Or it's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, that's true.
He's getting it. And I don't want to sound like the guys that talk shit about Ken Anderson. Roger Craig was one hell of a football player. He really was. He took that offense to another level. Congratulations to him. And I just hope Ken Anderson gets in because, man, I'm old enough to remember Ken Anderson. People were in awe of him. Burt Jones, all these quarterbacks from the 70s are like, man, Ken Anderson is the real deal. He really was. And, let's talk about the big game.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Seahawks, Patriots. Are you interested in this game at all? Like, seriously, are you I think for me, I'm like, I hate the Patriots. So I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I'll just throw it out there. I think one thing that I absolutely would love to see is I would love to see Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl before Lamar, before who else was there? Josh Allen. I would love to see him win a Super Bowl before those two clowns. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I am not a Patriots guy. I don't like the Patriots. I don't like their organization. Who are you rooting for, Mon? Are you rooting for the Seahawks or the Patriots?
A good question. I am looking forward to the game. It's a Super Bowl. It's the last game of the season. I love football. I mean, I've been really bummed out about the Bengals. Every playoff game I've been excited about. I get to watch it. It's just, I love the sport. I have so many friends that are Patriot fans. And I mean, I love these guys and these people to death. And I hate rooting against their team. I'm just looking at it this way. I don't think it's going to be close. And I think Seattle is going to dog walk them. I think it's going to be a lopsided Super Bowl. And I'm sorry, Seattle's defense, honestly, is one of the best I've seen in years. They are nasty. And their offense has a great running game. They're a smash mouth football. I think their wide receiver is honestly up there with Chase, if not the best in football. Darnold, to me, is an Andy Dalton, better talented. He reminds me of Andy Dalton, but with more talent. Okay, a little more athletic. I think they're going to win. The Patriots have a great defense. I just don't believe in that quarterback. I know, listen, their record is what it is. It's impressive. They've played a cake schedule this year.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Have you seen that? They played like, it's something like 80% of their games were played against teams that lost their head coach. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It might have been higher than that. It might be like 90% of their games were played against teams that are going to, that fired their head coach. They played the Bengals too, by the way. Zack Taylor is not one that got fired, but most of the teams that they played fired their head coach. And you got to think, right? Zack Taylor was one of the ones that didn't get fired. Aaron Glenn was 2 games. He didn't get fired. So right there, Aaron Glenn and Zack Taylor both not getting fired. Almost the entire rest of their schedule, coaches got fired. That's crazy, right? I mean, and not only that, Mom, but think about their playoff run, right? They play who did they play first? Give me that first game. Who did they beat first? Did
they beat Buffalo? No, they didn't play
Buffalo.
It
was the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers.
They played the Steelers first. We all know the Steelers were not a good football team this year. Then they play the beat up, the Houston Texans, who, again, CJ Stroud, not very good at playing quarterback. That Houston defense, much respect to that defense. And then you go out and you play, what was his name? Stidham? What the hell was that guy's quarterback's name? I mean, it is crazy. They have had the easiest path to the Super Bowl. Now, it's hard to take that away from them because they're there, right? And we Bengal fans are not, But
I just feel, we were just talking about Zack Taylor earlier and how much praise he deserves for what he did for Jay Morrison. Let me go back to being negative here. Him not starting Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow had a chance to play against the Patriots, we would have won that game.
Yeah.
We lost 26-20, came
Yeah.
out to a big lead. I think our team, we should have won that game. And I think with Joe Burrow there, I think we would have won that game.
I know.
But I don't think they have the offense. You know, they got some good running backs. You know, they got a good running game. I think the only way Seattle loses is if their quarterback throws a couple interceptions or they have a couple turnovers. But
maybe like some just some crazy, touchdowns that, like you said, maybe a pick six or a fumble recovery.
Score, yeah.
Some unconventional, maybe a special team score, something like that. I think that's the only chance. Sam Darnold, by the way, 2 years in a row, he finishes the regular season 14-3 on 2 different teams, Mon. Sam Darnold, you could say what you want to about the guy. I know he's a journeyman, Mon, and you're not a fan of journeyman, but you got to give him some respect. I mean, 14-3 on 2 different teams. Look how shitty not the Patriots. Look how shitty the Vikings were this year without Sam Darnold.
No, I have no problem with Sam Darnold. I think he's a survivor. I mean, he was not set up to succeed early in his career. He was drafted by the Jets, and then they send him somewhere else, and then he goes to a competent coach. And listen, he was a top pick in the NFL.
Yeah.
All 32 teams thought he was like a top 15 player.
Yeah.
The guy had talent. You don't automatically lose talent after 1 year or 2 years because you have a shitty offensive coordinator, or you get drafted by a team that fires a coach the next year and you got to bring in a new coach.
Yeah.
You're not being set up to succeed. And I'm glad there's a lot of quarterbacks, maybe like Jimmy Garoppolo was that way. A lot of guys that bounced around, they finally found their fitting and they're taking off. And you are right. I forgot about Sam Darnold winning that many games with the Vikings.
Yeah.
The guy's a player. I forgot all about that. Good pickup there. But I think Seattle wins 31-10. That's my prediction.
I'm with you. Mon, I don't think this is going to be a good Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks are going to drag them. I'm not sure I'm not even sure it's going to be close. Like you said, I'm going to say I'll go the over. Would you have 31-10? I will say 35-10. I'm going to go the over.
96 people watching us right now. Give us your predictions right now. Next 5 minutes. Give us your predictions.
By the way, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. We know it's kind of that time of the season where, we're a little disheartened as Bengal fans, but we appreciate you guys joining us. We really do. I'm going to say 35-10, Mon. And I'm going to say it's not even close. I mean, I'm going to say this. The NFC West, Mon, has become the best division in football. Now, you take the Cardinals out of the equation. The 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks, that is the best division in football. And to go out and win the best division in football, to me, you're the best team in the NFL. And I think they are going to show it on Sunday. And I think they are going to beat the living shit out of the New England Patriots. And I'm going to love every single minute of it. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not watching the NFL honors because I'm so pissed off about the Hall of Fame situation. So the NFL honors can just kiss my ass. But I'm going to say this. If Drake May wins the MVP, it'll be the laughing stock of the award ceremony, because there is no way in hell that. And again, I know Ace is not going to like this take, but there's no way that Matt Stafford should not be the NFL MVP. There's no way in hell that Drake May should even come close to winning that award.
I agree with you 100%. But I'm not a Rams fanboy though. But I mean, I will say this. I just I think the way they went to win a Super Bowl, and then they totally went 360 to rebuild their team the opposite way. And I just admire their front office, because they went from potentially a massive rebuild to be in a Super Bowl contender again by hitting with multiple draft picks, not first and second, third, fourth, fifth round picks. They do it right over there. And Stafford is the MVP according to our fans here. Hey, man, real quick, before we leave, I just goofed off. I've been doing a lot of mock drafts. Jake, let me ask you a question. And fans, we got over 100 people in here now. Number 10 pick. Everybody's talking defense.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, I want defense. Okay. This mock draft, I haven't selected anybody yet. I have Pro Football Focus on my phone. Guess who's available at number 10 right now? Would you guys lose your shit if the Cincinnati Bengals drafted at number 10 Jeremiah Love, halfback from Notre Dame?
Yes.
You would?
Mon.
He's a cat, dude. He's a beast. He is a beast.
If they drafted Jeremiah Love, who else is still there right now? To give me else who is still there.
Okay, let's do a 2-round mock draft real quick.
Let's do it real quick.
Jeremiah Love.
Mm-hmm.
He's the highest ranked player available. He's a 6th ranked player.
Okay.
Jermod McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee, is the 11th ranked player.
Okay.
Francis Mauga, tackle from Miami, is the 12th ranked player. Mansour Delane, cornerback from LSU, good player. Peter Woods, who's dropping, defensive tackle from Clemson. Cassius Howe, edge from Texas A&M. Kendrick Falk, interesting guy, edge from Auburn. And Caleb Banks, defensive lineman, 17th ranked player, 6'6", 335 from Florida. Who would you take?
I'm going Woods.
Yeah, God.
I know. Listen, I know he's dropping a little bit. Mom. But the Bengals have got to take a swing. You talked about it already on this show. The defensive tackle room needs a makeover. It's not very good. How do you not take a swing on Woods if he's there?
Okay,
listen,
I'll
let you go. I just gotta say this. If the Bengals draft Love, which I don't think would ever happen in a million years, I think Chase Brown. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think Chase Brown is about to become the highest paid running back in Bengals history. I believe that. I think Chase Brown is about to be the highest paid running back in Bengals history. If they were to take Love, Mon, I will throw something through your TV that night. I will lose my mind.
I think I would go cornerback here, but I will say this. They have a trade offer from the Cowboys to drop back 2 spots, go to number 12 instead of number 10.
Okay.
If the Bengals trade back to 12, they can pick up another pick 112, almost in the top 100, just to move back 2 spots. I would do that in a second. Would you do that?
I would do that too. And David, that is not true. That is not true. I did not crash out when Mims was drafted. I was completely excited about that pick. David calling me out. What kind of shit is that, David? Come on.
They accepted the trade. We have the 12th pick now. Okay? So let's do this. Let's decide who we want.
I did crash out about Mims, by the way.
Okay.
That was bad on my part.
Okay, you know what? Who did you say you wanted?
I want Woods.
Oh my God, he got picked. I'm
That's
sorry.
Right. What did we get for the 10th pick?
We dropped 2 spots and we picked up pick 112.
I would do that. I don't have any problem with that at all. I mean, Woods is a good player, but I think right now you still get a pick close in the top 100. I mean, I think
Woods is going to be more in the 20s, maybe 30s. Who do you want to pick? You want to pick a cornerback? You want to pick a tackle? You want to pick a defensive end? Who do you want?
Can you tell me this real quick? Where did my guy Caleb Downs go?
Caleb Downs went to the Saints.
Where are they at?
He's picked 8.
Oh shit. I'm gonna go.
Here's the remaining players: Jeremiah Love.
Okay.
Offensive tackle Francis Mauga. I don't know how to say his name right. From
that's from Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mansour Delane from LSU, cornerback. Cassius Howe, defensive end, Texas A&M. Kendrick Falk, defensive end, Auburn. Caleb Banks, defensive lineman, Florida. Spencer Fanow, tackle from Utah.
I think I'm going to go the corner.
Which one, from LSU?
Yeah, from LSU.
Picked. That's who I wanted. Okay. That's who we got.
Where was the pass rushers? Where was Bain and Bailey? Where did those guys go?
Oh, they went way. Let's see here.
They went pretty high.
Let's see. Bailey went 4 and Reuben Bain went 2.
Wow.
Okay. 41st pick. Only 2-round mock, guys. Only doing 2-round mock. Highest ranked player is Anthony Hill, linebacker, Texas. He's 39 on the big board.
Okay.
Romaine Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. I'm sorry, 41 on the big board.
Yeah.
AJ Halsey, safety, LSU, 42 on the big board. Okay. Emmanuel Pregon, read a lot of good things about him. Guard from Oregon is 43. Those are all the wide receiver. I'm going to say no, but those other 3 are really big positions in need. The guard from Oregon, the safety from LSU, and the linebacker from Texas. Who do you want?
I feel like this is an easy one. I think if Dalton Reisner gets re-signed by the Bengals, I think you have to go safety from LSU.
Okay, I agree. That's my pick.
I know we're doubling down on LSU guys, but listen. It's been good for us in the past, Bengal fans. we have hit with the LSU guys.
We got a B+, guys. We got a B+.
I'll take a B+. Yeah, I like that. We go corner.
They knocked us down. They knocked us down, and because Jeremiah Love was a higher ranked player, we should have picked him.
No, I'm not picking a running back. I am not picking Jeremiah Love. I'm just not doing it. There's no way. Listen. I said this earlier a couple weeks ago. I think running back is a sneaky need. I might have said it last week. I can't remember what the hell I said last week. I think running back is a sneaky need, Mon. I really do, but not with the first not with the first pick. They're not at 12. That's
2
not
years. You, Ace, Zim, Eric. You guys always hounded these running backs that got drafted by Detroit. What's his name? These real shifty backs, and the guy for the Jahmyr Gibbs, and the guy for the Falcons. And I'm going to tell you, I was like, you guys are crazy. We don't need offense. Those guys are special. Those guys are freaking good players.
Yeah, they are.
And I think Love's a bigger back, but if they're talking about a running back that's a top 5 talent. I just want to say this. We have to go defense. I get it, and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, even though I am.
Yeah.
We have to get out of this thing. We have to draft. I think BPA. I don't think the Bengals do BPA. I think they draft needs so much. There might be a best player available that's a real difference maker at a position that's already pretty strong with the Bengals. I still think you make your team better by drafting that best player available. I really do. Well, I know they got holes. I know they do.
Well, you talked about this, I think, last time too, was that the Bengals like corner is a really sneaky need because listen, we're very high on Dax. We're very high on DJ Turner, obviously. CTB, we don't know what his future is, right? So after those 3, I don't think CTB is coming back. I don't think the Bengals are bringing him back. I really would be shocked if they did.
Yeah. I just heard another mock, and your boy's available.
Who?
Caleb Downs is available.
Oh, let's do that one. Okay. I want to do that one.
Okay, Caleb Downs just got picked. The Bengals just drafted Caleb Downs, everybody. Everybody calm down.
Caleb Downs, we got him at 10.
Okay,
we got him at 10. I'm very excited about that.
2-round mock, 41st pick. We have trade offers. No, we're not trading with the Steelers. Screw them. Okay, so the highest rated player is Dylan Thiemann, safety from Oregon. We don't need another safety.
No.
Jermaine Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama. AJ Halsey, safety, LSU. Emmanuel Pregnon, guard from Oregon. Zion Young, defensive end from Missouri. Deontay Lawson, linebacker from Alabama. Colton Hood, cornerback from Tennessee.
Well, let me tell you, I think we need linebacker, but I think we need to go free agency with linebacker, right? I think we need a veteran voice in that room. I'm not going linebacker here. The DN from Missouri, I don't know a lot about him, I'll be honest, but
Can I read something? I'll read it to you right now. I'm looking him up.
Okay.
6'5", 270, good size.
Okay.
85% overall grade from PFF, which is very good. 13 games played, 569 snaps, defensive snaps, 8 quarterback sacks, 17 hits, 31 hurries, 2 batted passes, very productive. 85 is a pretty solid grade. Good size. Pass rush is 82. Run defense is 86.
I'm sold.
I am too.
That's my pick. That's
Here's a big one. I love PFF, guys. I highly recommend it. His biggest games, his highest rated games in college are against good teams. All right. The one thing that's not good, he seems to take off when he's playing a chump team. But against Oklahoma, Arkansas, Auburn, he rated really high. South Carolina in the high 80s. So he's ready for the big opponent. I'm for it. I say we do that too. I just drafted him. Let's see what we get. Oh my gosh, we got an A. Look at that.
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, 2-round mock draft. We just did it. We incorporated a lot in today's show.
Listen, Mon, why in the shit are we not doing Duke Tobin's job? Why are we not doing Duke Tobin's job, Mon?
You know why? Because the Bengals can't afford me. That's why. They can't do it. They would have to trade Joe for 7 draft picks. Listen, I just want to say something. I don't want to hear anybody talk about Joe. There's a bunch of trolls on Twitter. All they're doing is trying to upset Bengal fans. We know he's not going to Minnesota. We know that. I'm not going to let any troll get my Irish fired up. It's not going to happen.
All right, let's get out of here. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We appreciate you guys. We will be back next week to talk more Bengals football with you. As always, guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify. As always, if you like this podcast, give Mon and I that 5-star review. Very much appreciate that. As always, follow Mon on Twitter at @TheFireMon. Follow me on Twitter at CoachJakeOwens9. Follow Eric on Twitter at eFlash with 2 H's 88. Follow the Cincinnati Podcast Network at Cincinnati Pod, and follow the Bengals Pulse on Twitter. Guys, please, or X, whatever you want to call it, at the Bengals Pulse. The same on Instagram.
Merchandise.
Merchandise without the @the Bengals Pulse. Guys, as always, thank you so much. Check out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Cincinnati Podcast Network. He is Mon. I am Jake. Eric, our man, could not be here. He will be joining us hopefully next week. This is the Bengals Pulse. Hooday, Bengal fans. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Just figured out how to do the banners. Nice.